Hi everyone, I'm here to talk about ascension symptoms, physical ascension symptoms and timeline collapsing. Now, I talked about this in a video 2 months ago. This video by going to my YouTube and scrolling down to about 2 months ago, and you can find it right here, and it's titled Timeline Collapse and Ascension Symptoms. You can also find it on my Instagram by scrolling back 2 months. I was basically talking about a horrible migraine that I experienced 2 months ago. That wasn't just a regular migraine, because I could energetically tell that this was not a physical thing. This did not have a physical cause that I could pinpoint. And on top of that, there were intense emotions that accompanied the migraine, visuals, past life, flashbacks, all kinds of stuff. Why am I talking about this again? Because lately, the clients that I've been working with, all of them have been telling me about intense physical symptoms. It kind of scares them. They get worried. They wonder if they are doing this spiritual awakening thing right, because they seem to be just all over the place emotionally, physically, and they think that they are not doing it right, that they must be doing something wrong. And this is also why some people will step away from their spiritual path, because they think that they must not be doing something right, because all these people are having these blissful experiences and they are going through all kinds of physical symptoms. And not everybody on a spiritual awakening journey will go through these intense physical symptoms. Some will just have very intense emotional insights and stuff like that. It all really depends on what your mission is. If you are here to be a healer, to do deep transmutational work with people, to really serve others in trauma healing, then there is a big chance that you are going to have to heal all of your own traumas so that you can be there for somebody that is then going to be going through all of this stuff, and you can tell them, I know what it's like, and I can be here for you while you're going through all of this stuff. And we are now also we are building up slowly to the Lion's Gate. And I know that that is in August, but usually the Syrian energy really starts to build up in the beginning of July, and it will build up. And the period leading up to the Lion's Gate is typically a period of quick manifestation, of rapid manifestation. And because we are in this combination of Arcturian purging energy, if you've been keeping an eye on my posts, you will have noticed that I speak about that. We are in this mix of cosmic frequencies that feels very Arcturian and Syrian right now. So we are kind of collapsing timelines, and we go through periods of this in a year. I have noticed that I will go through about 3 or 4 of these periods where timelines are collapsing, where I will have more physical symptoms. You are basically pushing out the old stuff. And a lot of the times people will get scared because they say, I'm having all these weird symptoms that they don't make sense. You have flu symptoms one day, you have a horrible headache. And the next day you are fine, or you feel like you have a horrible cold, and the next day you just don't have it anymore, or you get nauseous and you have to vomit, and there is no reason for it, there is no cause, no explanation. And for some people this can be a chronic thing that lasts for a while, and they go to doctors can't find anything. I'm not saying you have to ditch the doctors altogether, but sometimes, and it's happened to me, it's happened to people that I know, that I've worked with, and friends that say, I've gone to the doctors, they've done all the tests, and they can't find why this is happening. For like chronic eczema, for example, I've known people that have gone through elimination diets, they have tried all kinds of stuff, and it just won't go away. Allergies, migraines, when they avoid all the trigger foods, all the stuff that can trigger migraines, And it just keeps happening at all these random times. What is actually happening is that your other selves, other parts of yourself, of your higher self, of your soul, they are experiencing and releasing trauma through your body in this timeline. We know, if you've watched my videos, linear time does not exist. It exists within the 3D so that we can make sense of our experiences, but in reality, linear time does not exist. All of these things are happening at the same time, but you are aware mostly of your experience from your point of view, from your physical experience. But all these other parts of your soul are having their experience from their point of view in time, space, reality, history, wherever, other star systems, other times in Earth history. And if they were unable to solve certain things in their timeline, then you will be able to tune in to their energy in your now moment, because you will be the dominant or strongest timeline for your soul to make these changes in. So that is what's happening, because you will be at this point where you are able to overcome a lot of these things that in other times, spaces, realities of your soul's existence, incarnations, were just not possible. So what you are doing is that you are healing it for all timelines, which means that you may be going through some really weird stuff, like the other night. If you watch that previous video, I talk about a headache that feels like being electrocuted. I had the same headache again 2 months later, saw the same visions again, but this time there was no doubt that this was an electrocution happening in this now moment in my body. That was not my physical experience, but the experience of a lifetime that I had where I was a male priest in Atlantis. And it felt like shocks, electric shocks going through my head all the way to my ear, and they went all the way down my leg, and it just was the weirdest thing. It happened for 3 hours and then it went away. Then it went away because I was able to purge. I could feel where it was coming from, and I was able to also emotionally release the emotions of that version of myself, because he was not able to do that back in his time, and the headache faded away. And I also energetically felt lighter. So these things will happen. Let me know in the comments if any weird stuff like this has happened to you. I would love to give you some advice and insight. Please let me know. This can also manifest as phobias, fears that just don't make any sense, that don't seem to have an origin in this lifetime. Eczema often is connected to being burned as a witch. A lot of people have anger that is really trying to burst out of their skin, and it is literally burns, wounds from being burned on the stake. Headaches that feel like you are being just zapped in the brain are often connected to electrocution, something that happened quite frequently in the late ages of Atlantis. Not too much is known about this, but I've seen that they had entire electrocution chambers. What happens mostly is that people will get fevers. You will feel exhausted. You will have emotional ups and downs. This is what most people experience. And feel into your emotional state, because your emotional state, when you have these physical symptoms, is always going to tell you what is really going on. Really just sit with the feeling and ask your higher self why these physical symptoms are manifesting. Of course, if it keeps on going on, by all means, go see a doctor. But if they cannot find anything and you feel that this is a shift, that you are shifting out of old energy so that you can shift into new energy, then just let it happen and go within and connect to your soul. So let me know if this has been going on for you, what that's been looking like. I just wanted to share this experience because this is happening to more and more people, not just to myself. And to let you guys know that you are still doing good. You still are on track. You are doing great in this spiritual awakening. So yeah, let me know if you need any help with anything. Feel free to check out my website to see how I could help you further. Bye bye.